Welcome back to the Major League Gaming Heart of the Storm exhibition matches. We're doing King of the Hill right now, and Crank has won 2 games in a row. He's beaten Cats, he's beaten Lomo, although both those games, he did have to work for them, so we're making him sweat a little bit here.
Definitely. That's what he wants. He doesn't want easy games. Where's the fun in that? You know? So he's definitely enjoying this. I just asked him if he's having fun, and I asked him about his hallucinated Colossus strategy. I said, oh, that was really smart versus Ultralisk, and he said, no, I just wanted to create Hallucina Colossus because it's funny, lol. So that was his grand strategy, was just to press that button because it's fun. There you go.
Well, that's the main purpose of StarCraft too. I'd say roughly 99.999% of people play this game play it for fun, including the professionals. That's the true purpose of all forms of entertainment. Let's see if
Absolutely.
Rotterdam is ready. See if Crank is ready to get this game going. We'll get a game going shortly. The map's going to be Newkirk City. We've heard Cats say it's New York City, although it doesn't really. Maybe in the future when New York City gets like 3 miles high off the ground and then you're playing on the rooftops of it, perhaps, because it is a map that looks kind of cool because they actually you're playing on top of buildings.
Just like the old classic Metropolis, of course. No, not Metropolis, Metalopolis. Metropolis is a classic too, but Metalopolis more so. And you know, it does kind of look like New York City, but it doesn't have enough angry cab drivers. So I feel that's something that should be added in. You know, actually, what would be really, really smart is to add little yellow robots that drive around the place too fast and honk at units. That would be brilliant. That would be so good. Clearly, Blizzard needs to get on that immediately.
Kind of like, what's the map that has the little shark that swims around in circles?
Cloud Kingdom. There is also another one. I can't remember what it is. Abyssal City, I think, has it as well. So, yeah, there's 2 maps with the space shark.
Just like that, except it'll be a little yellow cab, and it'll make honking sounds that are really irritating for screens to focus on it.
That would be brilliant, wouldn't it? That would be absolutely brilliant. And then we could just have this other little droid that goes like, hey, I'm walking here. It would be wonderful.
That would really fit the New York lifestyle pretty well.
All I'm saying is, you know, it fits with the lore of the game, and I think that it's very important that Blizzard does this.
It does. You know, the lore is important. At least to a lot of people. I know Clutch is a big fan of the lore. I'm actually a big fan of the lore myself. When Heart of the Storm comes out, I actually plan on playing the campaign. Like 80% of my gameplay is gonna be the campaign until I'm finished with that, and I'm gonna mostly leave the 1v1 until after that's done, just because I've always enjoyed their campaign so much.
Yeah, it's interesting that there's such discussion, I think, over the SC2 campaign. A lot of people said, I didn't really like it, but you know, I think the storytelling was pretty weak. But gameplay-wise, it's like one of the most innovative RTS campaigns we've ever seen from anybody. Each level was completely different, and the way that you could make choices as to which units and upgrades you wanted that were mutually exclusive. I love that stuff. I love being forced to make a big decision in an RTS campaign that's going to stick with me for the rest of the game. And that makes me mold my strategy as a result. So I think it's a great campaign. I'm hoping that the Heart of the Swarm one will be a lot better. But we are here on Newkirk City, and we have PvP between Axiom Crank, who has currently got 2 games in this King of the Hill. He is in the red trunks playing Protoss to the southeast, but his opponent, his mightiest yet, no doubt, the mighty Rotterdam in the blue trunks. Wow, God, it's causing panic in the MLG studio, I can hear, as things are falling apart. Everyone's basically fleeing from the might of Rotterdam. That's understandable.
It is. He's a scary guy.
Yeah, man.
If you hang around too much, he'll start telling you all these stories, and then once you've heard a couple Rotterdam stories, you can't live your own life and feel like you've experienced true life to the same extent as it is available, because this guy just has so many crazy stories about the places he's been to.
Yeah, it's actually quite literally crippling to your development as a human being. That's the problem with drinking with Rotterdam causes this. You know, the fact that he is, of course, the benchmark that we all set ourselves and have to live by when it comes to the handsomeness of esports personalities.
Definitely likes to live life up a bit. We can see he's opened very aggressively. 11 gateway, Psychor before second pylon. I wonder, does he have some... I mean, up until he built that second gas, I was saying this looked like, you know, like 11 gate, 3 gate from Wings of Liberty. But Heart of Swarm, maybe it's a twist with this gas. It could be some Mothership Core rush with Stalkers, or...
It could very well be 4-gate Blink Mothership on one base. That's a really standard build. Funnily enough, it's one that Crank really likes too. If it ended up being both, with Crank's being slightly delayed, then he would get the advantage, I feel, in that. But it depends what Crank decides to do.
So Crank is already getting a second gateway. So it looks like he's not really committed to anything yet. He's just playing a very, very standard kind of macro safe opening. He's going to get a couple stalkers out, make sure there's no proxy pylons. Rotterdam's checking his base as well with that first stalker. Rotterdam's not currently boosting the warp gate. Instead, currently boosting out a lot of units. So I feel like he got the 11 gate just to get a bunch of units out early so he could tech fast. It's like a weird counterintuitive thing. I'll get the gateway earlier so I can do a fast tech build. Or it's just, most people do it to rush, but I anticipate some tech building from him.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, there's enough Stalkers coming in to certainly be annoying here. The problem that Crank might have is if he gets caught here and loses this Stalker, that's going to be kind of a big deal. He's going to have to respond pretty quickly to that. Of course, he should be able to get back without too much of a problem. He won't lose the Stalker here unless he decides to do a little bit of a dance in the middle of the map, which I'm hoping he doesn't. But notice the very, very quick Robo coming out here from him. We've got a Robo with one gate very early on one base here for Rotterdam.
So what is the new purpose of the fast Robo? I guess just a fast observer. He wants to scout really early.
I can't think of any other specific reason for it. I mean, there's no point in getting a warp prism if you're only on one gate, of course. So, you know, unless you want to pump out a super fast immortal. Unless you want to pump out a super fast immortal, predicting that your opponent is going to go go 4 gate, 1 base, mothership, blink all in.
That definitely could be it. Gonna get the observer first to just scout. Uh-oh, this could be really bad for Rotterdam. His units are out on the map, but Crank has a proxy pylon taking the fast route around him. And, you know, with only one gateway, even if he cranks out an immortal, actually, he won't even get an immortal out. They're just gonna go for the robotics before he can.
He could actually just die right now, unfortunately. I definitely see what was kind of coming in here, but there is no way in a million years he's getting an immortal here. And that's now been shut down. There's only one gateway. There's a mothership core. And there's the time. Let's do the time warp again. He time warps all of those units to slow them down, to prevent a surround, which gives him the advantage going into this engagement. Now we've got a mothership core coming out that's immediately shut down here. And obviously, Stalker-wise, there's not a possibility of Rotterdam actually beating that. No, it didn't. Well, that was quick.
So what's the only thing sadder than Probes trying to fight actual combat units? Probes trying to fight combat units in a time warp.
Oh, God, that was so sad to watch. Their Probes just charging in. You can imagine that Chariots of Fire is playing in the background, and then suddenly they run into what is essentially a giant energy wall of treacle. Yeah, it's molasses for the Americans. You can't move. You can't do anything. Like, oh, this is really awkward, guys. Should we just go back to the mineral? Like, yeah, I think that would probably be best.
Let's just go back there and hope the stalkers go away now. They've had their fun, right?
Yeah, they'll just get bored. It won't be a problem. Yeah, Rotterdam gets a little bit destroyed there quite quickly. Oh, dear.
Crank stalkers do not get bored until they've sated their bloodlust with the defeat of their opponent. That's how intensive they are. I want to make sure that guy's totally out of the game. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with our next opponent for Crank. He's on 3 wins right now. 2 more, and he'll tie Cats. 3 more, and he'll tie TT1. 4 more, and he'll have the longest streak so far in our King of the Hill.
That will be pretty awesome. Let's see how it goes.
It will be. See you guys in a few minutes.